Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today. It is gonna be two incredibly fun to watch bots. And in the name of variety, we have got Xena, the random Zerg, or the random bot playing Zerg this match, and taking on Xena is gonna be, I'll say, a bot I don't quite cast enough. It's Phobos. And I don't necessarily cast Phobos as often due to its style. It is a very noteworthy bot. It is made by Team Eris, which is, of course, the team that made the best bot so far. And so Eris or Phobos doesn't get cast as much. It's Eris's Terran counterpart because generally goes for heavy 2-base pushes, which are very cool, but they're a little bit linear in a way. It's like either the push works or the push doesn't, and Phobos just keeps on attacking, whether it's going to work or not. So there's not too much variety there. But I thought Phobos versus Xena, that could be a really interesting game with both bots being aggressive. And oh my gosh, it is going to be a really interesting game as we have got Xena going for the big drone pull with, by gosh, yeah, just pulling all the drones with its lings. Phobos has got a Reaper on the way, no wall on the high ground. And oh man, this game is going to get crazy potentially here. We do have an SCV in position to build a wall, so that's going to be huge. And there's a reason why we don't see this against Terrans, and I wonder if this game is going to be a good example of that. We have got the Reaper out for Phobos, tosses a grenade. Oh no, the wall doesn't get raised. Why, Xena? You had one job. SCVs are now pulled into the fight, but that is not a good position to be for Phobos. The SCVs are microing well against the Lings so far. An attempted bunker gets shut down. A grenade bounces all the drones. Some friendly SCVs and the Lings, but there is a lot of hostiles here on Phobos' side of the map. Xena banked up a good amount of resources too, so it's able to back this up with some more Lings potentially coming across the map. There they are. This one Reaper is worth its weight in gold regarding this. SCVs are repairing each other, so I think that Phobos has dealt with this. It hasn't lost too many SCVs just yet, and there's going to be big drone losses for Xena as it gets knocked down to 4 drones. And yeah, that was an incredibly strong hold for Phobos. I don't even think I had a chance to do my early game spiel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy these kind of matches, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below that says more bots if you want to see more bots. I am very concerned as a Xena fan in this match, though. Half the workers of the Terran. It is currently 1 base to 1, which is never good for Zerg. And yeah, that was just straight up wacky. As Phobos did manage to hold on. If it raised the depot, it would have been a perfect game, or it could have potentially been a perfect game. Just repair the wall and you win. That wasn't the case though, so Xena did get a little bit of damage done. It was 13 drones and 16 Lings for 12 SCVs. I will say the SCV micro from Phobos was quite good. That Reaper staying alive was important too. How many kills does that guy have? 15 kills on a Reaper. It was just a shooting ground. Now, Xena is trying to catch up in that drone count, in that worker count. It's going to have to build another hatchery at some point, which is a huge hurdle for Zerg, having to wait for that to get online. Goes to show how big of a delay this is. And, yeah, then we'll see where Xena's going to take it from here. It's making 6 Lings. Is it going to go back on the aggression? Oh my gosh, Xena is crazy. As, yeah, it is just making Lings, so I guess the plan is just follow up the aggression with more aggression, which does have some logic to it. The problem is Phobos has consistently been making units here, and if these Lings just trickle on in, they shall die. Xena has built up resources, 300 resources in the bank. Is it just going to try and do another drone pull or something? It's building up a lot of resources. It could start a hatchery now. It, however, has yet to do that, so I'm quite curious what the plan is. Lings are just running on in here and dying. There's no major thought. As we do see Xena being more of it's a finely tuned aggression for the most part. But at the end of the day, if you're just programming your bot to attack without any second thought, it will do exactly that, even if all these lings just run right on into their death. And Phobos is looking real good here. Xena not going for another hatchery as well. Like, is it just going to make lings till the end of time? And the end of this game? That could be the case. For now, though, Phobos powering up on one base. Its economy is decent, 1-to-1 base. Xena just trickling the lings. And at least in the games I see, I think that this is probably one of the biggest weaknesses in a lot of bots, is that they don't necessarily pool the units. Like, if Xena said, like, okay, let's pool all those lings that I just made instead of running them in one by one, so then I'll attack with 40 lings. It's like, okay, maybe that can work. We do have a transition now on the way for Xena. Phobos has got Medivacs, they're gassing around. It's getting out a siege tank and is potentially going to go for an attack, and that will be really problematic for Xena, depending on when Phobos moves out, because Xena is so far behind. It can catch up in the macro game, however, as Phobos is a bot that tends to go for timings. If it waits for it to get up a natural base, though, like if Phobos wants to have out a second command center before it attacks, that will probably give Xena the time that it needs, or potentially could anyway. If Phobos just decides to go for the one base attack, it will be very problematic. We do see an SCV moving down, though, probably for an expansion, so Phobos really committing to a lot of one base tech, but oh man, that Terran army is now starting to move on out the siege tanks. Siege up again, though, so we have some second thoughts. Do we have an attack? That is the question we are waiting to see. Xena has got ling speed on the way. That second hatchery is about to finish up, so its economy will be starting to get online. This Terran army is just terrifying, though. It's one of those things. How aggressive has Phobos been programmed? And as this Terran force starts to move out, I'm getting a little bit concerned. There's no natural base going up for Phobos. It is just in kill mode. It says, you try and cheese me, I will end you. And I'm quite worried for Xena here, as it said it was transitioning, and it may just be transitioning into GGing here, as there's nothing going on for Xena. The only hope is that, like, it counterattacks or that Phobos decides to pull back. That is probably a bit arbitrary. Lings are attacking on in. They, however, get shot down real quickly, as there's just so much more Terran supply. And yeah, unless we see a miracle of Phobos, like, pulling on back, or if there was, like, a Ling counterattack, then maybe Xena could hold on here. But if Phobos stays on the gas, it will win this game. We have one queen attacking a siege tank. She could have saved herself by walking on top of it. She did not, however, and that third base is just being ransacked. There is no hope in this game for Xena. And yeah, well done by Phobos for being aggressive. And it goes to show that aggression works in a lot of cases. I'm sure Xena's build gets a lot of wins against bots that aren't so programmed so well. And yeah, Phobos is going to take this one. I have no doubt about that at this point, as this is not something Zerg comes back from, unless Phobos is like, yeah, alright, I killed the base, let's go home. But I don't think we're going to see that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, which is linked down below. If you want to see more of these wacky bot games, some of the ones that are a bit shorter, or just if you want to see more of these games in general, leave a comment that says more bots. Help with that YouTube algorithm. And we do eventually see an expansion for Phobos. It, however, expands to its third location, which I think is something Phobos does every now and then. It's an odd duck. Yeah, that is 100% a dead Xena, though. All of its units are just gonna die here. Xena says we will rebuild, as it decides it needs a spore crawler. Phobos needs to start hunting for these other bases, finds one of them. We'll shoot that down. Eventually it's gonna have to find this other base. As it does start looking around, one drone running away. Cue the Benny Hill theme. This base is still hidden. It's gonna get found eventually though, right? Bot authors solved this problem a long time ago of checking every single base. Except it's not checking this one, funnily enough. Okay, it sees the creep, but does it actually see the creep? No, because it's a bot, and bots don't put 2 and 2 together like that. This Terran army is on the move.
Upgrade.
Phobos does find the last hatchery. Xena's like, wait, you were supposed to give me more time. I just needed more time. And that is going to be that. Thanks so much for tuning on in.